You're watching Lansdowne ROAR, your home for Irish football news and nostalgia. Coming up on this episode, we have the latest about the vacant Republic of Ireland manager's job. Charlie O'Leary turns 100, John Delaney's in hot water, and of course we talk about our boys in green across the water. Not hot, quite cold. All this and more coming up on Lansdowne ROAR Live. And it's now. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast, the wonderful Martin Prendergast. Lovely to see your smiling face again. We've got lots to talk about, young man. We were in hot water across the week. Dan is not happy. More on that in 2 seconds. Of course, this is Irish football's most interactive podcast. We are the voice of the fans, well, we try to be anyway. So, as always, we want you to have your say. Leave a comment, get involved. Anything we're talking about, you have a comment, you want to ask a question, go right ahead. You want to ask a question about something we're not even talking about tonight, go ahead. We'll get to it. Keep it classy, though. As always, you can follow us on the YouTube. We are trying to grow the channel. Please give us a cheeky subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you can't be arsed going to all those different places, there's a QR code if you're watching on your desktop down the bottom right corner. Get your camera. Just point it at it. Linktree comes up. There you go. You got everything there. And of course, you can always head over to the greenmachinepodcast.com. Greenmachinepodcast.com for opinion. Lots of opinions. And I had an opinion, Martin. I was heard. I wrote my first article in a very long time. It was quite interesting, actually. You know, just had to clean up the crayon when I was finished with it. Basically said Carsley or bust for the FAI. We'll get to that in 2 seconds. How are you, Martin? Did you have a good few days? Have you had a good weekend?
I've had a great weekend, thanks, Dave. Yeah, coaching this weekend, Enfield Town Greens, who we under 12, so we sponsor them, of course. Still unbeaten in the league this year, so good start to the morning. A nice 6-0 win away. I was out bright and breezy on a football pitch in just outside Watford actually this morning, 9 o'clock, setting up my cones with me. I was going to say with my ball bag on the show, but that might not be that clean for this.
Wow.
And again, I am working with under 12s, but no, fantastic. Really doing well the football, and we played really well today, so I'm actually delighted. Yeah, so very good day, and it's quite nice. I went to see what I did. As you know, I do like following non-league football. Went to see Enfield Town yesterday. They lost to top of the league Hornchurch. That was quite interesting. Spent a bit of time in the bar there, to be honest, sampling the Guinness. But I was with friends and stuff. But yeah, a very nice afternoon. And
what, you with your ball bag out in Hornchurch, yeah?
It was. I'll tell you what, it was really a great afternoon. And I obviously bring Kean to the matches, as many people will know. And he's a big Enfield Town fan now. And it was funny, you'll like this because you know me as a bit of a kind of blagger, Dave. We were chatting in the bar afterwards with friends and stuff, and the Enfield Town goalkeeper turned around to Kean and he said to him, "Did I say to you that I was gonna give you some gloves?" And Kean went, "No." And then I said, "Oh, we'll have them now if you're giving them away." Like as just quick in I got, and he brought Kean away with him. I know it sounds a bit dodgy, but no, he brought Kean down to the changing rooms with the steward and stuff like that. Like, this is at Enfield Town, of course. But no, he said, "Oh, no, I'll get you some gloves." And you know what he gave him? He gave him his, he played at Wembley last year in the FA Bars Trophy. And he gave Kean his gloves that have, like, FA Bars 2023. So Reece Forster, very,
it's very nice.
Very appreciative of that. They'll obviously be going in the memorabilia Hall of Fame. I have my...
Kean... Probably they weren't probably
out of since no
they weren't even warm in his hands when he just took them out.
No, really good. So yeah,
so there you go.
It was a nice little weekend for me.
See what happens when you can let your young son go away with a strange man into a shed. Amazing. Anyway, before we get taken off YouTube, obviously a mad couple of days here. First of all, I just want to get into it. I'm sure you were very happy about the news on Friday, not the one about Carsley potentially turning down, but the other news, of course, Jurgen Klopp stepping down as Liverpool manager at the end of the season. I must admit, devastating blow. You might have a chance now, United, Martin, after the season. But whatever you think of him, fantastic manager. I just hope I could still remember in 1991 when Kenny Dalglish stepped down after that 4-4 draw. It was actually in Ireland. It was shown. It was on Sky Sports, I believe, and was shown on Cable Link in Ireland, and was a free. It was like they would they would scramble the channels, Martin. I don't know if you remember that, and they would actually have a free, like they every now and again they give you a free game to try and get you on board. And I'll never forget, he stood out afterwards. I was 7 years of age. Who would have thought it would take nearly 30 years for him to win the league after that? Because, you know, Souness and all this other stuff. But the job that man has done, that to go up against that, you know, United fans, a lot of my friends, United fans, are like, oh, he's a butler. Oh, you know, he should have won more. No, against that Man City team, whatever about FFP, they'll have their day in court against that Man City team to push them. Never bottle the title, actually push them all the way. Couldn't catch him. And I think a few years ago, they lost the league by 1 point. And it was actually because of a goal. It was almost a goal that would have made it 2-2 a game at the Etihad. And John Stones cleared it off the line. Literally, he cleared it off the line, and Salah's legs tried to close to stop it. And it would have gone in, because it was so close. And it was literally a millimeter perfect, went right through his legs. And of course, they won the league. That is just the margin sometimes. But anyway, I'm not going to. But big
just to remind everyone that regular listeners, you are not listening to the comedy channel. This is Lansdowne ROAR.
Well, it's not a history channel, Mark. We're not talking about United here, but anyway.
Well, if we can talk about history, how many trophies did he win?
4, not including
4. Yeah, in the last 10 years. Yeah, and Man United have won 5 in the last 10 years, and that's the worst Man United team we've ever seen.
Spent over £1 billion.
Fair play. He won.
You've had more managers than we've had trophies.
He's won. Fair play to him. He won the European Cup. He won the league in lockdown. We'll for the sake of this argument, we'll say that one counts. And then he's won the FA Cup as well. Man United won that in 11 days. Oh, for fuck's sake. They won it in 11 days in 99. All 3 trophies. So anyway, we won't make it go on.
No, we won't. That's a podcast for another day.
But yeah, it's good to see him crying again today at Anfield. And I'm just pleased, and I think the Premier League. I think he's a massive loss to the Premier League, of course. He is a fantastic manager, but I'm grateful that no ball boys are going to get abuse from him now, because that's another I think he likes to do as well. So
abuse ball boys.
A fantastic. Yeah, he did. He does that stuff, and the fist pumping thing, and then the other thing. Oh, no teams can celebrate draws, and I'd never have that. And then all of a sudden, we still have history again.
I'm sorry,
we didn't
Fergie.
When he got draws, he was up there pumping his fist at the Kop again.
You cheeky
total
bastard.
Myth that he's the nicest fella in the world as well. I know Fergie was a miserable.
What did you insist on? What did you insist on during the week on State of Play, which is available on YouTube? What did you insist on us talking about was the 29th anniversary of Eric Cantona kung fu kicking a sweet, innocent bystander. Of the South London type in Selhurst Park. And, you're glorifying that. But, Jurgen Klopp gives a little toe rag, like a piece of his mind, actually educating the youngster, getting him ready for a future, because life isn't fair. Jurgen Klopp should be applauded by that sort of thing. And there you are, glorifying that. You love Roy Keane. Yeah, I mean, where do you even begin with that arsehole? And you're going to have a go at my Jurgen Klopp. He's a man's man. He stands up to bullies. Jurgen Klopp, that is. And he's a massive loss to the Premier League. And I think what we have to really remember, United are shit. Anyway, yeah. So it's got to be.
I think it's nice. He's very, very tired after whatever he's done 9 years and winning trophies and stuff.
Don't you roll your eyes at him?
How many years did Fergie do? He just didn't get tired. He kept winning. He came back and won against City. You're quoting City as well. We came back and we won it against City. We took it back from. We won 20.
You haven't won it for 10 years.
It doesn't matter.
You haven't won it for 10 years.
You hadn't won it.
The ownership that's never ducked in Merseyside, the Premiership. You want to watch all your stuff in this channel? You are now the past. We are the future.
Get lockdown one. You won the lockdown one as well. And you still talked about Man United. You still talked about Man United when you lifted the trophy because they're obsessed. That's a fact. Jordan Henderson did that. He did. There's a video of it. Lifting a trophy. I hope they're watching Manchester. Then he lifts the trophy.
Manchester City.
Manchester City. No.
Right, come on. Let's get on with this anyway. We'll agree that you're a twat. I mean, we'll agree. I love you really. I love you really. Just look here, not fucking leave my Klopp alone. There is actually a lovely video on Instagram. We see the guy with his dad walking in 1919 Liverpool champions, and then he keeps going. You see all the near misses. Torben Pjanic Graham Souness, Roy Evans, all of this, and the slip, the whole lot, and then you see like the father's gone, and then the kid is growing up. It was really touching. He brings his daughter, and he finally celebrates, and that's the thing with Klopp. All joking aside, he's put Liverpool back on the perch. That Fergie knocked him off, and Fergie did knock him off.
Like we said, we're moving on. I can't believe.
No, but I have to have the last word, Martin. Anyway, right.
You're not on any perch, believe me. There,
right?
Jesus.
Oh,
right.
You're not on any fucking perch. Right. Okay. And relax. Nuri Nurk is not going to be happy because I don't. He's already given out about the jingle there. I've seen the comments flooding in. They keep them coming in, by the way. If you agree with me and Martin's a twat, no, just joking. If you agree with me and Klopp is fabulous and Fergie's a twat, get involved. Send a comment in. And yeah, we'll get to those in a minute. But I can see that we got lots of Man United and Liverpool fans that watch us. But right, yeah, Nuri Nurk's not gonna be happy because we still, because we have a jingle, we have still the green machine playing on the Lansdowne ROAR intro, and I still haven't got around to doing the jingle for the or just some name for it.
I was with him on Friday and I explained these things take time. He knows that.
Exactly. Hope you're well, by the way, matey. Right, okay. Let's get into it. 11 minutes. We haven't spoken anything about Irish football.
Has been going on.
Right. Well, not really. So we're going to get into the Irish managers, the latest news. Some of you guys asked for a bit of insight. Well, obviously, on Thursday it was announced Lee Carsley pretty much in the bag by the FAI, dancing in the streets. We were running down. We were all very happy. And then it came out Friday morning that actually, no, he's turned it down. It was that article by the Daily Mail. I do have it here just to give you guys up to speed, get you guys up to speed. Here it is. Under 21 boss turns out Republic of Ireland jobs he plans to emerge as a contender to succeed Gareth. It's okay. I'm not going to go through the article again. I did read this out on the episode of the State of Play, which is the latest one we did. If you want to have a look there on that, is on YouTube. I go through all the articles in great detail there. Basically, the article it just says he's turned them down. It doesn't say when, doesn't say how, it basically, in my opinion, Martin, it just says, it's basically the Daily Mail saying, you Paddy Land over there can't have our under 21s European Championship winning coach. That's it. Why would he want to go to you when he could be Southgate's replacement? And let's be honest, he doesn't have a hope in hell of being Southgate's replacement because England will probably go for Klopp, in my opinion, or an elite manager or someone like that because of the players that they have. That's just my opinion. And then all the media came out, Sky came out, and they were like, oh, yeah, Sky Sports News understands. And basically, they didn't say why they understand, where they got this understanding from. Basically, I think they just read the Daily Mail article. And everyone was just citing the Daily Mail article. And basically, it's come out then that the FAI haven't actually made an offer to anybody. So Tuesday, Mark Cannon apparently was conducting interviews in Birmingham and London. Martin, did you say beforehand that they were in St. George's Park?
I have heard that some of the interviews they are conducting are being taking place in FA headquarters in St. George's Park, which kind of wouldn't be unusual. I think we have to remember that Mark Cannon and Jonathan Hill formerly worked with the FA. They'll have close contacts with them. They'll know people in the FA. We're working closely with the FA, of course, on the European Championships that are coming up soon, Dave, that you're not happy about, if you remember. And
that's another podcast. Okay,
yeah, I'll have your tickets for that one. But we got. So you have to remember that the FA and the FAI do work closely, and some of the people they know each other and stuff. So it does make a little bit of sense. I could be a bit of a shit stirry here and say, well, it's close to where Jonathan Hill lives, isn't it? But yeah, so it's something that we've got this situation where they are having meetings and things with potential candidates, and obviously Neil Lennon is still talking, saying that he's interested, and he hasn't heard since, which we'll come on to, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just a bit uncertain, and I think, to be fair, as I said on the previous podcast, the FAI have done a fantastic job in keeping it all kind of very much in house, but some things are getting slipped out, and the fact that it's kind of been deemed that Lee Carsley's turned down something that hasn't actually been offered to
Yeah.
him is it's worrying people, and it's actually turned a lot of people I've seen up on loads of WhatsApp groups, as you can imagine, with it, Irish fans, and not just you, Dave. And you're getting people really turning on the FAI hierarchy and saying, some people are saying, well, why the hell would he want to be with the FAI? Because I think that's something key from November when it all went a bit shit show when we were up in front of the Oireachtas. Why would Lee Carsley, who's got a great job at the moment, why would he want to get in bed with the FAI and it all been a bit messy?
That was a stumbling block in November. Apparently, they approached him and he knew like Kenny was gone, and they, it was sort of like the old FAI had come out. Now, just an important thing that people have to remember here: Lee Carsley himself has not come out and said anything. To my knowledge and to your knowledge, Martin, the FA haven't come out and said anything. Now, surely to God, one of them will come out and say, actually, listen, I've heard these rumors, it's not happening. I'm very happy. I'm committed to the FA, blah, 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 blah. So we haven't heard that either. All these reports in my opinion, stem back to the Daily Mail. And I don't know where the Daily Mail's got it from. Matt Hughes, I think, is the guy's name. We don't know. Now we're hearing... So we'll find out on Tuesday is when Mark Cannon goes back to superiors on the FAI board, makes his recommendation. We will be, by the way, on Tuesday doing a state of play. We're going to be very reactive on this one. Depending on what happens, Martin, maybe do a live state of play. Depending. What you reckon?
Yeah.
If they announce it, if they announce the manager on Tuesday, we'll do a live state of play. Be about 11 o'clock at night, but we'll do it anyway. So that's when he goes to tell these guys who he's selected. So we don't know. Neil Lennon has come into the fray. He was on Irish telly. You somehow watched it, Martin, with your dodgy box. Have you got the quotes there? What did he say about it? He was obviously asked about it, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he was covering the FA Cup games over the weekend, and he kind of just said again, like, it's a job that appeals to me. I achieved one ambition by playing for and managing Celtic. If I was going to go down the international route, then Ireland would be my first choice. Like all these jobs, and I know this from my own experience, there are millions of candidates who would love a job like this, millions of candidates who would love club jobs as well. I've just got to be patient and wait and see what decision they come to. But a lot of speculation that if Carsley's turned it down, that this is going to be the first choice now, and it's just a funny one, really. And it's just, even I see a lot of people even talking up Chris Hughton still, saying that perhaps was the one that the FAI are thinking of, and it's kind of worked out time frame wise. Obviously the AFCON didn't go well for him, but I think it's a bit unfair. No, but I think it's a bit unfair to judge him on that. Like if he wasn't in charge,
Forest didn't go well either, though.
No, but if he wasn't in charge of Ghana most recently, you would be judging him on Forest, and he could say, well, that was a shit show at Forest, all behind the scenes, as we kind of know is. And you could probably give him the benefit of it. And yet his most recent, you got to remember, like, Neil Lennon's not been in the management role for ages. I wouldn't actually class, I know this sounds a bit absurd to say this, but I wouldn't really class what Chris Hughton did with Ghana as, it does sound absurd, like of a real management job in a sense. He was taking on something.
Yeah, but he
wasn't doing anything with them.
Yeah, but he was also part of the technical team for the World Cup, Martin. So look, he had knowledge of those players. He knew a lot about them, and he's failed. In my opinion, the time has come and gone for Chris Hughton as an Ireland manager. Neil Lennon, his last job was with Arminio of Cyprus. He did okay in Europe, but didn't do very well in the domestic league. Before that, it was Celtic. He returned there, and I think he finished off Brendan Rodgers' season, the treble, and then he was given a treble after that. The season finished up early. They wound up gave it to Celtic because of lockdown, and then after that, it wasn't very good. He there were 18 points clear of behind Rangers. Rangers won the first league, stopped the 10 in a row, and all that. Neil Lennon is not the worst coach in the world. He'll do a job for you at sort of like, Scottish level. He does very well. Hibs, he got him from the Scottish Championship to the Premier League, left under a cloud. He obviously, his first job was Celtic, did very well there. They were selling his best players. He wanted to compete in Europe. He couldn't. They had to balance the books because what happened to Rangers at the time, he got disillusioned, left, went to Bolton, stank the place out. At Bolton, he's not the worst manager, but he brings baggage. And his last job was 2 years ago. If you're Mark Canham, right? And by the way, I want to get your opinion. I see I might actually break tradition and just go with some of these comments whilst we're talking about it, Martin. I think because it's such a big thing. As we go, and then we get to a section. But you guys watching out there, right? If you're Mark Canham, I want to get your opinion on this. If you're Mark Canham and you're supposed to be, we're dragging Irish football into the 21st century and we're going to modernize it. I'm the technical director. And by the way, I'm all for that. It's a head coach. It's not a manager's job now. Even though we call it manager in the intro, you're going to report to me. We want you to play a certain style of football. It has to be all married. This is all wonderful. And could you imagine if they don't get Carsley and they have to unveil Neil Lennon or Chris Hughton? They are going to get absolutely destroyed in the media because, first of all, it wasn't their first choice. And let's be honest, it wasn't. So they're going to have to polish that particular turd. And, if that's the case, though, with Neil Lennon, no offense against the guy, but seriously, this is the guy who's going to bring us into the 21st century. What are your opinions on that, guys out there? I want to get your opinions on that. Mark, what's your opinion on that? Am I being too harsh, or do you agree, or what?
Yeah, I just, the thing that kind of strikes out with me with what you're saying is this incredible trust in Mark Canham, basically, and we know he's got some good credentials and things, but they've just really invested in this way. It's again the kind of uncertainty of the FAI and Irish football. Like we had Stephen Kenny in there, and he was given a role, wasn't he, to kind of restructure everything as well. And okay, we know he's gone now, but it just seems really weird that then Mark Canham's making all these key decisions. I felt a bit uncomfortable with that with the women's situation, with Vera Powell and how she was treated, and then Eileen Gleeson is all of a sudden saying, I don't want the job, and now she is the person that, they were going to have this big worldwide kind of, recruitment, and we're going to get the best person in, and then it's Eileen Gleeson. At the back of my mind is always that they've got no money. So this job is going to be attractive to someone who
600,000
isn't going to be fussed about the money, in a sense. Like, and I seen something about, Carsley would in the Championship like be on $1 million a year or something like this, or that kind of club job comes looming and he's on that. But it's an attractive job in the sense of you're not saying you're not as committed if you're an international manager, but that's why like Roy Keane says he likes the kind of idea of it and the structure of it, because you're not on the training field every day. You're actually watching a lot of matches. It's not a dossing job, but because you have to invest time into it, and probably more on the technical side, which I think would be very good and suit Carsley from his international experience in the under-21s. That's what he's doing. He's going around watching players, and he's also looking at the infrastructure of the underage kind of stuff going around. But that's why I think it is an attractive job, and that's why I think should you generate that much money on that, unless you're bringing a big commercial part of it to the idea of I'm gonna put bums on seats, basically.
Here's a mad idea. And you speak about the commercial aspect, right? Let's say you're Mark Canham and your art is seriously on the line in this one, okay? I think he's done a good job with the women's. The whole Vera Powell thing, probably wasn't handled particularly well. The optics of it doesn't look very good. You got rid of a manager who qualified us for a first ever World Cup, but obviously there are things going on. We don't know. It'll come out, I'm sure. So they got Eileen Gleeson. But the men's job now is a whole different ball game. It is, they are going to be that everyone is watching. Everyone will be watching this now. So the pressure's on. They have to deliver. Here's the thing. You go after Carsley, don't get Carsley. What does that say about you? Did you, as a technical director, didn't fancy it? Is it the association? Is it you? Is it team? Is it play? What is it? The money? Okay. It's not great. 600 grand a year. So let's say they can't get the number one target. They want to go down this technical route, right? You can't get Anthony Barry because they don't have £1 million to spend on Anthony Barry as compensation. That's what Bayern Munich pay Chelsea. That's just compo. Never mind the wages. So what do you do if you can't get him? Do you go down the commercial route and then you try to get the fans on side? Because if you show up with Neil Lennon or Chris Hughton, there's going to be murder. So do you go down the commercial route and you go, do you know what will get the fans happy? And let's be honest, it'd be mental, but it would get so many people happy in Ireland if they went and got Roy Keane and he did the whole thing of he's Ireland through and through. He's a leader. He's a winner. And they're going to pack him with the FAI coaches like John O'Shea, who we know from Ireland Man United, and then try to go down that route. Because if they don't get Carsley, in my opinion, they won't get Barry. The whole technical route is, unless they get somebody else, I do not know who, is fluffed. Did he go down the commercial route? Did he try something a bit mad? Did he get a bit desperate? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I spoke about the Roy factor, I think, in the past.
You did.
And I think that is definitely got to be in their mind. We're absolutely skinned. And again, look, while we're chatting on here, just want to reassure kind of listeners, we're just throwing out opinions and different like points of debate. It's not actually saying this is happening or this is what we want to see. I think the Roy King's very, very interesting though, because
you'd love it.
He would. Would I love it? I don't know, really, to be honest.
It would make our lives a lot easier because we'd have something to talk about every day.
Yeah, like if Roy Keane was even linked with the Irish job in any seriousness, it would be reported on Sky Sports News tonight. If Roy Keane come out and said on Sky to this afternoon, if it was on Sky, I know it's on, terrestrial, the FA Cup and stuff. But if he had said it, oh yeah, I'm actually meeting him next week and I'm interested in the Irish job, that would be on Sky Sports News coverage. There's been very little coverage on Sky Sports about Ireland's recruitment of the manager.
But his comment about he'd be interested in it was on the over. I actually just watched that today on Stick to Football. It was very kind of like a throwaway comment, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, to be everyone out there saying now Roy wants the Ireland job," and he was right because everyone did. We did.
He just said he enjoyed the whole nature of it. The whole don't have to be there on the training field, like I said. So it would be a very astute commercial appointment because I guarantee you would sell out the Aviva with Roy Keane in charge, no matter who the opposition is. People would want to see him. People would watch his press conferences. You're waiting in a way. Let's be honest, though. You're waiting for him to blow up and kick off.
That's the problem.
Even against the opposition managers and their players and be diggy in his press conferences, which he was notorious for. Rightly so, and many of them, especially the mobile phone one. Still love that when I see it. That's rude. And right, that was true, though it was. But this is what you would be looking at with Roy Keane being there. Will he motivate them? Probably would. Technically, though, he'd have to have brilliant coaches with him. And I think it would suit him, that kind of role. But I think the whole idea is Mark Cannon wants to see us develop technically and trust that it's 4 years. We're not going to qualify for the next one, perhaps, but we'll give a good fist of it. And it's the next one, and we're going to see development in it. And that's where I think they're going to try and go. Now, like people are saying, if you don't get Carsey now with so much speculation, which has kind of come out of nowhere in a sense, because we haven't heard Carsey say, "Yep, I'm interested" or not.
Well, it
is a hard one, isn't it? We had it by Kilban in a sense. That's how I interpreted it, of course.
Sorry, I'm just a bit distracted there because we might have a bit of breaking news on this. I've heard something there. I'm just trying to get the source of it. But basically, apparently, the FAI might not be unveiling anything on Tuesday. They might be waiting on that. Now, I've just seen that pop up there on Twitter. So, but I've just asked where we got that from. Is that just more conjecture or, hold on. Wait a second, Martin. We do have Irish Mirror. Bear with me, folks. Yeah. Sorry about this. But, we try to be as reactive as possible. Football. It's on the Irish Mirror. Apparently.
I've got it if you want me to read it.
Go for it.
So, the FAI prepared to wait and make right decision on a new manager. The FAI's top brass are willing to delay the appointment of a new senior men's international manager beyond Tuesday's board meeting. With interviews ongoing all last week, Neil Lenning's firmly in the frame, having spoken twice to Mark Cannon, the FAI's FAI's director of football and effective kingmaker. Roy Keane has also expressed an interest in the post, as has Sam Allardyce and Steve Bruce. Of those four, Lennon's the likeliest to get the job. While Lee Carsey's interest in the vacancy has reportedly cooled, the England under-21 manager cannot be completely ruled out just yet. In fact, Irish fans should remember how previous appointments panned out when deals with Giovanni Trapattoni and Martin O'Neill stalled before finally being agreed on. Often it is a negotiating ploy on behalf of the incoming boss to stand firm on certain issues, sometimes over salary, other times over the makeup of a backroom team. This is what O'Neill did in 2013 when he asked the FAI if he could bring Roy Keane in. Yeah, I think that's quite important, obviously, and we've covered it and wrote that news in a sense that's been reported by the Irish
There you
Mirror.
go.
So there's your source.
So
yeah, it's I wouldn't. I think it's a clever move, and I think one of the things as well, they had to get it right, and it was a point I was going to make earlier. Mark Canham is also presenting to the board his kind of direction for the FAI, really, like, you know, their technical program and everything like that. That's all supposed to be ratified as well, because that's what he's putting in place. So he will want to make sure that the senior manager is going to be aligned to his thinking on that. I just think there's an awful lot of trust in Mark Canham as the guy to deliver on this.
And more importantly, right? It's his arse is on the line in this one. That's why he's waiting. He knows he has to get this right, Martin. He has to get this absolutely spot on. You cannot be the technical director and say, Neil Lennon, ta-da! You'd be fucking thrown out, you would. Or Chris Hughton has to be somebody who's going to fit his mantra. Chris Hughton will not fit this mantra. I do not want to hear he's progressive coach. He's not. He's not a progressive coach. His time is done. I'm sorry, but it is. Neil Lennon, absolutely not. Roy Keane, no. But if you're going to fail with the technical aspect, as you know, my point was, are you going to take a gamble because, you know, his job is on the line with this one big time? Would you go and take a gamble with the commercial aspect and then kind of pack him with some coaches and just have him as a figurehead? You know, because desperate people do desperate things in desperate situations. So there you go. He's going to wait. So on Tuesday, you might not have anything. Now, that could be conjecture as well. There's a lot of conjecture here, guys. You out there asking questions about it. There's no real information. We're going to move it on in a second, but there is no real information about this. It just stems from that Daily Mail article, and we don't know where that's from. Apparently, they approached him in November. He wasn't interested then. There was a little whisper that he changed his mind. And maybe he's changed his mind again. We don't know. So,
look, we're going to know soon enough. Anyway, you got to remember, we're not far out from the Nations League draw, 8th of February.
Of February, yep.
We're not far out as well from the first games. The 26th, I think it is the first Ireland game. But the key thing with regards to Carsley on that is England under 21s have got their opening match in their qualifying campaign for that away to Azerbaijan on the 22nd of March. So he would have to be announced in the squad probably 10 days before that. So, you know, we're probably gonna know if he's gonna still be involved or not.
Let's get into the comments actually here for the Lee Carsley situation, and then we'll move it on. Ristard says, yeah, the Ireland job, no deal yet. Me and the boys at Lansdowne Road got a bit carried away. Yeah, Martin did get very carried away. Ristard, do apologize for that one as well. I did tell him, you know, he just wouldn't listen to me. Yeah, we did. Actually, well, we have a bit of the social media watch. We'll talk about that. Gareth Savage, Neil Lennon is the man for the job, says Gareth Savage. Darren O'Grady, lads, a bit of insight would be welcome if you have any. We don't really. Darryl O'Connor, how you doing? Darryl Carsley, our bus seems about right. I'll back whoever gets it, but Lennon is a dire appointment. Come on. Home sweet ball, Prince, come home. Felix Unger, Cantona should have been kicked out of the game for doing that. Yes, he should have, Felix. And Darren O'Grady, Cantona and Klopp united in being anti-fascist. Respect to them both. Amo wanted us to speed it up. Well, I think we got into it. I'll get to some of these comments later on, actually. Reese Masterson. All right, lads. Any faith that Carsley can still be the manager? Yeah, I mean, they've just delayed their appointment there. Shane Dunn wants Giggsy to get the job until the end. I mean, we talk about baggage. Richard Joyce, Carsley overrated. Any manager could have won the Euros with that England under 21 team. Quality is endless. Lennon will be another. Kenny clueless when the options are limited. Roy Keane would be my pick. Joseph Lennon, lads, surely Canham and Hill's position have to come under serious scrutiny after this debacle. All of these supposed football contacts, and we are being linked with a bunch of yesterday's men and alpha managers like Neil Lennon. If you don't pull someone decent out of the hat, now Carsley is out. They should be run out of town. Absolutely shambles. Only positive is the lack of leaks. Yeah, I agree there. I think Canham knows it too. That's why he's delaying it. Darryl O'Connor, Lennon only successful in his first stint at Celtic, brutal second stint, and everywhere else he went, in my opinion. Of course, he won't. He'd want it and won't get anything else. Shane Brown, I'm praying it's Carsey, but any other result is a massive letdown. Almost wish we didn't even get the hope in the first place. We can't have nice things, can we? Restart says Ole would be some coup. Is that Bill? Bill, are you? Is that Bill in the skies? Bill wants him, doesn't he? Bill from Irish Football Blog, who is watching, by the way. He did send it to the group. How you, Bill? Shane Brown, and seems that article is just one piece that's been rehashed, the Daily Mail article, over and over. So praying is just rubbish. And Lee Pocket's €650,000 contract Tuesday, and we welcome him home in March. Darren Grady, not advocating Lennon, but if the criticism is working with a limited squad, then why is that shortcoming with our current squad? Shane Dunn wants justice for Kenny. Greg Foley, who reviews Hill's performance and who reviews Mark Cannon's performance? Because to date, as far as I can see, both have been farcical.
Well, that would be the board, wouldn't it? They're answerable to the board. Packy Bonner's part of that board. Let's remember as well the Oroptus thing. Packy was spoken at that as well, and it was a bit kind of embarrassing, wasn't it? We covered it before with how, you know, the MPs and the TDs, sorry, they were all chatting and saying, "Oh, great to speak to you, Packy, and what a legend you are," and all that stuff. I think my trust is, to be honest, in Packy Bonner doing the right thing for Irish football and having a significant voice in this.
Well, hopefully so. Last comment I'm going to read for now, and we're going to get back to them, is Shane Dunn, how can anyone blame Kenny when our squad is in the state it's in? That is the last comment for now. We're going to get to the rest of them, but we're going to just move it on. And the next bit, actually, a bit of happier news. Well, Charlie O'Leary, the legendary kit man for the boys in green, there he is there. He turns 100 this week. Fantastic news. He still looks great, by the way. There was a recent photograph of him with Paul McGrath, and there he is there with a team with actually the late Alan McLaughlin. Jesus. If you're not watching on YouTube, just very quickly, Charlie O'Leary, absolute legend. He used to kit man. He was also a referee, wasn't he, as well? 100 years old, Martin. I met him once actually as well.
Oh, an absolute legend. Yeah, I met him, and Jack had fantastic time for him, as we know. And look, whenever you see the glory years of Jack, you always inevitably see Charlie O'Leary there as well. Great rapport with the players.
Yeah,
just an absolute legend. And some of the articles, obviously, chatting about his birthday, and you know, there was one actually last year talking. I think they interviewed him, and he said how Paul McGrath still goes and visits him. There's another one actually now that that's how I noticed. I think that is his birthday this week, and it's just brilliant. I mean, what a life he's lived, and you know, he met the Pope, and I love it actually. A brilliant line from him said, you know, he met John Paul II, didn't he, in 1990 at the Vatican, and he was kind of pushed forward by Jack, and he's since had a knight. No, he's not knighted. What am I on about? He's a sainthood, isn't he now? St. John Paul II. He's a saint. So he goes, how many people have been touched by a saint? It's quite a nice kind of sentiment. But,
I mean, what is it with you, like MPs? Can you not just leave the English alone for MPs? Knighthood.
Listen,
God,
you keep your trust in me. We've got our trust in the English lads, Canham and Hill. You know, no worry there.
You're just dying to sing, aren't you? Go on, Martin. Just do 3 lines. You're just dying to do it. I can feel it bursting out of you. Christ. Jesus. Anyway,
no, what a legend! Ultimately, absolutely brilliant.
Love Charlie O'Leary, and I hope you have a great birthday. And I'm sure somebody's watching this that knows Charlie O'Leary. And actually, we you know, you got to be careful what you say in Lansdowne Road sometimes. But if you do know him, pass on our best to him. He's an absolute lovely man. Right, we're going to go to OBIG, our boys in green. Slim pickings, mate. We don't have Nick and his dulcet tones, so I'm going to give him a quick read out. Or do you want to read them out, Martin? Would you like to do that?
No.
Oh, he's so good. All right, then I'm going to give it a quick readout here. Max O'Leary got a clean sheet for Bristol City in a 0-0 draw with Nottingham Forest. Jack Taylor got an assist for Ipswich Town in a 1-2 loss. Shock loss against Maidstone. Well done, Maidstone. Tom Cannon got an assist for Leicester City and a 3-0 win over Birmingham City. Oh, Tom Cannon, eh? Oh, God. Evan Ferguson got an assist for Brighton in a 5-2 hammering of Sheffield United. And Matt Doherty got an assist for Wolves 2-0 against West Brom. That's why I didn't want to read it out, because Doherty's name was on it, Martin, wasn't it? No C in that. Yeah. No. Slim pickings there, of course. It wasn't a great weekend. for our
Yeah, I
boys
just
in
checked
Premier.
there. Like Southampton played away to Watford. It was a game I mentioned the other day. That was one that I was hoping to follow. And, cousin Will come off the bench. Bazunu didn't actually play. So,
Wasn't even
yeah,
in the squad.
no, I mean, it's, slim pickings at the moment. But, we'll see how they get on.
Queven Kelleher didn't even start today in
No.
a game against Forest, Norwich 5-2, which is a bit weird. Alisson was in goal, but whatever. Bit of transfer news actually breaking. I annoyed a lot of people on Facebook. I was quite pleased with it actually. Jacob Bryan, of course, at Lyon, signed on a permanent deal from Crystal Palace. He's been one of the best players, but of course, Lyon aren't the team they were. They are currently in a relegation zone and they are fighting relegation. I think the next game's on the 4th of February. Well, apparently Everton want to sign him. And Everton are demanding they receive Lyon's Jacob Bryan as part of a deal for Danjuma to leave and join the French club. That's from L'Equipe. I think I'm saying that right. And of course, I, being a Liverpool, being a Red, went on Facebook and said, look, lads, is he better off in League One or, let's be honest, the Championship? That did not go down well with some people. He might be in League 2 as well. But yeah, Everton is serious trouble. 10-point deduction. And they're crap, let's be honest. I'm sorry. They are rubbish. And 10-point deduction. And they have another one coming as well because they were guilty of another FFP violation there. So does he stay or does he go? Highly rated Jacob Bryan, and hopefully will be featuring in the next. He deserves it as well. He's doing really well over in France. More news there from our friends over Republic of Ireland Tracker. Connor, hope you're well. Huge Irish transfer news tonight coming from Sports PTO. Genoa, Verona, and Sassuolo are interested in Adam Ida this month, with Verona emerging as favourites. I'd be absolutely delighted if something came out of this interest. He needs to get out of Norwich, according to Connor. His career just doesn't seem to have taken off. Does it at Norwich, Adam Ida? But it'd be fantastic for him to get out of, to experience, life abroad. Although, would it be? I mean, would Italy? We've seen their attitude towards black players at the moment. Probably wouldn't be the best thing for him, would it?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm quite happy with him at Norwich. He plays in fits and starts, gets different opportunities and stuff. But no, I'm quite happy with him there. I think he'll score a few goals there and stuff. I don't think he's going to be ever prolific. And I know that people, again, this is another weird one, but, we had Keith Andrews at West London, and he said going to Italy is not a great place to develop. He didn't believe anyway, but okay, of course, that's one coach's opinion. But, we were just talking about young Irish players going over to Italy, and he was saying, like, he wasn't a big fan of that. But I don't think he's got in any rush to get abroad. I'd rather him consistently play at championship level, and he seems to be trusted at Norwich, and I think it's a little bit different to the Obafemi situation where I think he's just injured and he wasn't going to get game time in the Premier League. I think Adam Ida's at the right level. He's at the Championship, and he's got to do what Will Keane's doing. He's got to be prolific and scoring lots and lots of goals. And I know that's different levels as well, but I think that's what you've got to do first. He's still got a lot of youth on his side, Adam Ida.
He does indeed. Best luck to him there wherever he goes. Just want him playing regularly and scoring regularly as well. Also a bit of Irish news as well. I sound like Yap Stam as well when he was on the Keep the Football podcast. John Delaney in the news again. Former FAI chief John Delaney fails to persuade Supreme Court to hear appeal. That's basically our version of the High Court, Martin, just saying. Ruling brings end to long-running action arising from a corporate watchdog seizure of 280,000 documents from football bodies' offices in 2020. A little bit more on that. I think I've lost. Oh, here we go. Basically, it's a picture of him looking like a bit of a John Delaney there. Not looking the best. He's not the most photogenic, bless him. Basically, they've rejected his appeal. The CEA claimed that this form of privilege did not apply to material in question. Basically, he wanted privilege, which means that they can't be read out in court, I believe. Martin, please correct me if I'm wrong. But they dismissed it. And I mean, that's more. This lad, when this eventually does come to pass, the court case, because there's still, I mean, this is still ongoing, isn't it? 4 years later, because he's putting every roadblock in front of them. When is this done? And I hope, and justice is done. This is gonna, if he loses this, Jesus, this is gonna cost him a fortune, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it certainly is. But I think it's just still damaging to the FAI though so much because it's just going to drag on and on and on. And the FAI, as we've often said, are trying to rebuild the brand. Look, whether we like it or not, when I'm calling Irish football a brand, it is. It's a business now. So, they've got to get that right. And by association, you have to have a very good public image, and we don't. And part of that is because of the legacy of that damage that was done. So when this comes up as a news story, it does damage the FAI and all they're trying to achieve. And, they can keep saying, oh, it's, we're the new FAI. And then it raises the question of should they just do a whole rebrand and start it off again. But, they obviously didn't. But it's very damaging still when this comes to light. And then you're trying to attract managers, coaches, sponsors, more importantly, because they just don't want to be associated with something that you can't trust that money is going to be used.
Yeah, just constantly getting reminded. I mean, this is going to continue anyway. And if he doesn't win this, he's in serious trouble because this is all going to be a hell of a legal bill at the end of it for whoever has to pay it. Moving on. What have we got? Social Media Watch. This is an interesting one. Dan, friend of the podcast. Here we go. Look. No music. Neri Newick. I'm sorry. I'll get to it. He won't be happy. Will he be pulling you aside at the next meeting? So Social Media Watch. We had an interesting one. Of course, there's a fella on Twitter. Here he is here. What's he? Johnny Clark. Do not know who he is. And Johnny Clark reads out. He responds to Dan McDonald. He gets a picture of our podcast, Lansdowne ROAR, formerly the Green Machine podcast. And he goes, but Dan, this is when Danny McDonald said, the deal for Carsley isn't set in stone yet, when we all thought it was. Johnny Clark goes, but Dan, a podcast run by fans with no good sources within the FAI told me the FAI have him. I was like, state of play, and there it is. FAI have Carsley.
Yeah,
who came up with that? Who came up with that headline there, Mark? Who thought it was that? One extra Newton. Robbie wins a trophy. And it has a little lean next to explicit because, it's Martin and I, isn't it? We swear like dockers. And then Dan McDonald responds to it saying, experience tells me that caution is best advised when it comes to these things, ... I'd much prefer if it was resolved quickly. Yeah. And then, of course, Nick responded to him and just said, just for the record, we never claim to be a source or announce information first. Not our gig, and we know our place. Simply fans carrying out a hobby and chatting about Irish football. And that's it, isn't it? We didn't claim it was an insider. We were just... we're
the voice of the fans. That's what you say. We are fans. We're reading.
We were just perpetuating the fake news. That's all.
It's just chatting, isn't it? About what we might see, what we want to see. We're just fans. We're giving fans who of Irish football the opportunity to kind of debate it and not be preached at in a sense. Whilst we do this show, like Off the Ball can have everyone that they don't know. You can have everyone on it. No, but you can have anyone on it giving an opinion on it. And like we've said, the journalists who are paid and that's their job, in the words of the wise man Roy Keane. They don't know. So how the hell are we going to know? And we don't have magical sources from the FAI because, as we've alluded to already, the leaks aren't coming out there. And I've done my best. I've asked people, and I actually go back to when it was like, I remember Venable was going for the job that time, and I probably had a few people I knew quite well in the FAI at that time, and I asked them like, what did they think of who was going to be appointed, and the word was, look, it's very much looking like Venables at the moment. So it's just speculation. I'm quite happy that it's generating interest in Irish football, and I want to come on and chat about a few points made here later on, which when we'll go through the comments, because I'm not having it that people are going, well, what are they going to do anyway? Because they haven't got the players and it's that doesn't matter.
Oh God, rant alert.
No, but just I can't be having that. Like, what does that mean? Do we just go, well, just pack up Irish football then? Let's not try and compete on the international stage. What? Because we haven't got the players.
I know. I hear you.
Mental.
But we'll save that rant for the thing. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that was that. And then he, I mean, this guy, right, Johnny Clark, whoever he is, and then, right, he's slagging us for going on about the whole Carsley thing. The cheek of him, earlier on, had actually said himself, Why Lee Carsley will be the next Tottenham manager. The latest is that he's still considering his options. A last-minute bit of hesitation before a massive career move. What other options are there for him? Not many. Reports last year claims he's about 6, 7, and then he goes on and on and on. So even he said it, the cheeky bastard. Just, do you know what I mean? Like, we are the voice of the fans. Very frustrated voice of the fans. Right. Have we got anything else? Oh, yeah, social media. We're meant to say, Martin, you are going to be a happy man. I don't know if you're aware of it or not.
No, go on.
Well, I'm going to put a little smile on your face, young man, because guess who's back in Instagram?
Oh, yeah, I did see this, yeah.
Yeah, of course you did. Roy Keane is back on Instagram. So there you go, Martin. I see that cheeky little smile on your face. So if you're running to the bathroom, looking yourself in with the tap running, we know what's going on there. Not speaking from experience. But anyway, yeah, so Roy Keane is back on Instagram. So there you go. I thought we'd share that a little bit. Now, we're going to go back to the comments. And I actually have this little star thing, which is Shane Dunn's. And we're just going to go through them very quickly. I'm going to undo that. Sorry, Shane. Just so I could see where we were. Daryl O'Connor. I know seeing smiles up, but I really want to get to World Cup in 26. It shouldn't be a write-off. Settling for Lennon. Nostalgia in USA, like 94. Shane missing Germany this year, like Euro 88. Shane Dunn, whoever we get doesn't have a chance with these players. Joseph Lennon, match going fans won't have Houghton or Lennon. It will turn very sour very quickly if the new manager doesn't hit the ground running, especially if it's not a person universally wanted by the fans. Very true, Joseph. Bums on seats. Say what you want about Kenny. Up until the last game, he brought bums on seats. He did. Record.
Can I come in quickly? I think if it's Houghton, there'll be a big PR drive. You'll have all the ex Quinny. You'll have Quinny out, Liam Brady saying, "Look, it's a safe pair of hands. This is what they need at the moment."
And then the whistle will blow,
and blah blah blah, and it will be all that, and it won't be. And fans we will just go and we'll support, and we've all brought our season tickets anyway. And I'm telling everyone now, we had when did we have the UEFA Champions League draw when it was all fiddled? Remember, and they had to redo it and stuff. Guarantee we'll get England in the Nations League. There you go. It's going to happen. We'll hopefully have Carsley, because I'd like that to happen. And then it's going to be set up, isn't it? Carsley's going to be taking on Southgate. That's how football works. You've heard it here first. It's going to happen.
Carsley, and we're going to get England to see. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind actually, because
that is going to happen.
My bank balance would probably be very happy with that.
You can get the train to the match.
Yeah. Although no Milo to put in bloody Manchester, some kip like that.
We can't play that at Anfield either, could they?
Oh no, I think they could.
They couldn't soak up them tears.
A good Irish city like Liverpool, the 33rd county. You know, it's a beautiful city.
Klopp, Anfield was still flooded with the old Klopp tears still. Anyway, we're going back to the start.
Yeah, we're going back to this. Richard Joyce, no manager will get. Do you know what? I tell you what, you and I are going to do a live episode. Are just going to do an episode about Man United Liverpool. No script, no nothing, and we're just going to have at it for about half an hour and see what happens. We're going to do that one of these days. No script, we're just going to do it. Richard Joyce, no manager will get this Ireland team to play attractive football and will win. And when the quality isn't there, the new manager's only hope is play them to their strengths and get them organised defensively. Greg Foley, they got lucky with the women's head coach. Happened by accident. A happy accident. And here's the thing, right? And you are right, Greg, because I know she didn't want it. Ina Gleeson, she did really well. 6 wins on the bounce. Fantastic. And of course, tickets are available for the game against Wales in February in the Tallaght Stadium, by the way. Do try and cheer on the girls in green. But the same with Gareth Southgate. He was a happy accident for the FA, because he was offered it first, didn't want to do it, wanted to work with the youth players, gave it to Sam. The England team was in an absolute mess because he got knocked out by a shopping market out of the Euros. He, had the scandal, and then he was in Southgate. And now all of a sudden he has a plethora of top talent. England have one of the best squads in the world. So there's no pathway here for Lee Carsley, in my opinion. And I do think they're going to go an elite manager. I mark my words. Southgate's contract's up in December. He'll probably go after the Euros. So we'll try and get someone like Klopp in. It'll be somebody at that stature. I'm not saying he'll go, but they'll try and get someone like Klopp in. Anyway, Kevin McGuinness, harsh Dave. No matter who's put in charge, if it isn't Carsley, is going to be seen as second choice. Now, Carsley didn't guarantee success either, so whoever comes in should be given a fair crack at it. Listen, and I hear what you're saying, Kevin. 100%. Look, if Neil Lennon gets the job, right, I'll have my say, I'll have my tears, throw my toys out of the pram, but I will get behind him. I'll give him a fair shake. Genuinely, I will give anyone, I don't care who it is, and I think I speak for a lot of people on here, I would give him a fair shake. And so would you, Martin, wouldn't you? Even if it was something you didn't want. If it was Roy Keane, you'd certainly give Roy Keane a fair shake, wouldn't you?
Look, whoever the island manager is, once they've made the appointment, it doesn't matter. I'll be getting behind them, and I'm one of them to succeed.
Especially if
it's not just and it's not going to be like, oh, well, I hope they fail, because then I can be proven.
No, I want to be proven wrong. If Neil Lennon gets this right and he gets it to the work, he does really well, I will I can't even say it. I will happily hold my hands up and press the delete button and delete every fucking trace where I select off Neil Lennon. I'll be like, yeah, I told you, lads. No, I would happily hold my my hands up, and say, yeah, got it wrong. John Daly, Delaney getting jail time would make my year. I think that would make a lot of people's years. Daryl O'Connor, if it's Roy, the phone better be on silent in the press as well. Daryl, you might be going to those pressers, so you better have your fucking phone on silent. Bobby Colley, Lennon would be awful. He hasn't done anything. One with Celtic when Rangers weren't around. That's very true, Bobby. There was actually a guy, I'm not sure if he's on here. If you're watching, do comment. He was having a go at me. Everyone has a go at me these days about Lennon. The disrespect towards Lennon on his page is disgraceful. Like he read out a load of stats about him. Let me try and find it. I know I'm going off the time. It was really mad stuff here. It was to do with my wonderful article, Pulitzer Prize winning article on the Green Machine podcast. Where is he? I want to try and find this. I know we're going off. Oh Jesus, I think it was on Raw. I'll try and find it. But he started listing off all these stats, Martin. It was fascinating. Kevin Ryan, Joseph Lennon. I'm dreading Lennon. I think that's Jesus Lennon.
No, he's responded to one of Joseph Lennon's actually.
Oh, right. Commented. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Spot on. Daryl O'Connor, that's positive on the right call to delay it. I dare I dream again for the ball prints in the dugout. That is in relation to the breaking news that they might be waiting. They might not actually be announcing it on Tuesday. Maybe they're going to try and get Carsley to come around. Maybe they're going to show him our podcast, and maybe that'll be the clincher. Or maybe Kevin Kilbane is going to have a word. Jeski, surely unlikely Lennon is playing hardball more like Carsley.
Yeah, look, we heard this as well. We had heard this that this like Carsley was key kind of thing he wanted was his backroom staff. I think it comes down to money as well, because we don't know what contracts they would be on. Can the FAI afford the backroom staff as well? Because that's what they're probably looking at as well. So it comes as a package. We can't forget that as well.
As well.
Sorry.
As well. Yep, Stan over there.
Sorry,
well.
probably.
Well.
No, that's another. I was listening to someone I can't remember who it was on a podcast recently, and they said probably going to be him, and then it's probably going to be him, or it might probably be him. I don't know who that was.
No. No.
You know who that was.
Yeah, I think we all know. I think we all know who that was, but they might be watching. So shh, don't. I have to look at these people in the eye, Martin. You know what I mean? When I see them, and hopefully not get booted down the stairs.
See the blank, yeah.
Joseph Lennon. Hopefully he's not coming, bro. Is that Carsley? I don't know. Daryl O'Connor, wouldn't bother me if Shea was caretaker in March just for the right man in the job. Give the ball prints any demands he wants. FAI. Good. Yeah, I mean that's a shout actually. Of course, John O'Shea was part of the dream ticket with Wayne Rooney at St Andrews, Birmingham. God, and Tony Mugga, is it? Tony Mowbray Mugga tried to get John O'Shea, keep him on the coaching staff, and he said no, he wants to be his own manager. So you never know. John O'Shea might be the one. You know, no one's talked about John O'Shea in this. I mean,
no, the experience thing for me wouldn't be there. And I feel that he was really harshly treated in the sense that he was only in from like April last year into the Irish setup in the back room and stuff.
Yeah.
I think again he'd always have the argument, put the medals on the table, highly respected. I think a decent lad, very very intelligent guy. He's going to do very well in football. I think he's
I think
put
so.
some work in, and I think it would be a shame if he's tarred with the kind of Kenny brush. Because
he's tarred
long enough.
He is tarred, not by me, but other people out there have spoken. You know who you are if you're watching. Doesn't want him anywhere near that. And I think you've been harsh. I think you've been harsh on him. Not you, but my good friend Richard Joyce. Being realistic, how far have Ireland fallen when you look at the candidates for the Ireland job? None of them would be anyone's first choice. As much as I love Ireland football, but come on, it's fallen far. Fair point. Reese Macedon, hopefully delaying the meeting means good news for Carsley. Deal. Whoever gets it, I'd like O'Shea in that backroom staff, says Darrell O'Connor. Me too. Restart says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Bill. Sean Roon. At this stage, I'm going back to my original thought. Just give the job to Duff. He'd probably even do it for nothing, which would suit the FAI also. He's too much of a loose cannon. It's too much for him. I mean, you see the way he is a shell, but probably headbutt the bloody referee if it was Ireland. And Ristard, he'd want too much money. Of course, that is about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm sure. McDovenett, Haji managed Romania. Stoichkov managed Bulgaria. Maradona managed Argentina. Surely it's Roy Keane's destiny as our greatest player to manage Ireland. Excuse me, but Steve Stunt, no. Well, we've already gone through that. I doubt it very much. Robbie Keane, anybody for Robbie Keane?
The way that like that's what a lot of these countries do, but I think at the end of the day, they're probably in a better. They've got everything's organised in the background, like better, than Ireland is. Basically,
yeah.
we haven't got everything organised under a structure completely yet, as we probably want it to be. And the idea of Mark Canham is it's a kind of that structure has to be in place. But I can understand why a big name player, ex-player, can come in and go, yeah, I'm going to have a go at it, because you're just so highly respected. That's why Maradona got it. It wasn't really on coaching credentials. He probably had very good coaches in with him, but he was going to be a loose cannon as well. And that is the argument again with Roy getting it, because everyone watched Maradona and wanted to see what he was going to do because it was box office, and that would be the same thing with Roy Keane. Imagine Sky Sports following Ireland and going Roy Keane's Republic of Ireland. That's what it would be.
Oh, the sponsors, would be coming out
Roy
of
Keane's Republic of Ireland.
It would make money. Like in the first year of it, it would make a fortune. Sponsorship deals, the coverage, all that kind of stuff. There'd be a massive light shone on Ireland from all around the world, and then the whistle will blow, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, yet again, look, if Roy Keane came out, I'm not his biggest fan. I know some of you out there on Facebook land don't believe that, but if he came in, he did a great job. Fair play, but no. Sebastian Knowlton, how you doing, Sebastian? Is Lennon the best available choice if Carsley is indeed out? I'd sooner go with Roy. Also, happy birthday, Charlie. Castori would be wise to hire him for their Ireland designs. I'd probably rather. Do you know what? I'd kind of rather, if it came to Roy or Lennon, I'd probably go with Roy, because it would make more sense. At least to make a few bob and be interesting. But Roy, it'd be fun, probably not for all the right reasons, but Lennon or Roy, not, I probably would go for Roy out of those two. I know you'd go for Martin out of those two. Greg Foley, lads, you think JD could do jail time? Hopefully. Well, look, if it warrants it, no pun intended, if it warrants it, and he's guilty, he is guilty, he has to have a stay in court, and he's found to have whatever, and it's worthy of jail time, then yeah, he should serve jail time. If it's worthy of it, to be allegedly or whatever, so I don't get sued. My rabbit doesn't have her other leg taken off her. Judetsky, in terms of delay in a name being released, it's hardly Lennon playing hardball. He's not exactly in demand, more like Carsley. To repeat, but yep, I do agree. I could just imagine Neil Lennon trying to play hardball. Shane Martin, the whole everybody plays the same way from under the 15s to the senior team does not work. The senior should be about getting results. By the way, Mark Canham, Rude Doctor, tried the same thing and failed. Chancer. Neil Conlon. Actually, I think what Shane said there. I don't know. I mean, I suppose there's an element of truth.
Like, it's reinventing the wheel, aren't we? Like, always going around, oh, we need to restructure this. Like, I read Packy Bonner's technical guide like 15 years ago. And he was involved in it. It's like, I know that coaching constantly evolves and stuff. It's a massive thing. Like, it's too kind of rigid in a way. You have to be able to adapt, and I like the idea of it. But we go 3, 5, whatever, and then when football evolves, oh no, we got to rip that up and do a new technical thing, and this is how our team's going to play. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a load of nonsense, half of that, to be honest.
Yeah. Keep your.
You want kids playing like grassroots football, sort that out, and then everything else should. If you can get grassroots football in every country they play, if you can get that right, you should develop footballers.
For me, where it falls down is that's all great, but if you're domestic league, i.e. the League of Ireland, we don't have a style. We don't have a style. We used to play passing style. Then Jack came in and played the Pomo style, the pressing style, which you can't give him any credit for because he's not foreign. But a style similar to what Liverpool play, the gang and press. We were doing it in the 80s, and even said it in the Jack Charlton documentary, Charlton years. They call it pressing, the FIFA guys. We call it putting them under pressure. That sort of. I remember Johnny Giles talking about it. Style, like that wasn't our style. We used to play a passing game, and then Jack, I suppose played a results game. So I don't know. See, we don't have a style. That's the problem. In Holland, they play 4-3-3 all the way through. That's their style. And you have the players to implement it. They have a league to a degree to implement the same with England. Although they struggle because obviously they have all different. See, that was the thing, wasn't it, with England? They have all coaches from different parts of the world. German, Spanish, whatever. They play a whole different style because it's the global league, the Premier League, which is great for the league, but bad for the England team. Where in Holland, Spain, they have one way of playing it. And from when they're born with a football, for Christ's sakes. When in Ireland, we don't really have a style because all our guys, because the League of Ireland, it is doing well, but historically, our players have had to go abroad to play for the Ireland national team. So it's still a bit convoluted. It's still a bit, it's very difficult. It's a very unique situation in Ireland. But I think what Shane's saying there's a fair bit of merit. That's what I want to go back on because it was a very good comment. Sorry, rambled there a bit. And now Conlon, Sebastian Olsen, Roy Keane be ideal manager for Ireland. He would know how to handle the position of players. It'd be great to have him. He has passion. Darryl O'Connor, if we get England for the away game, we will have to have a session at Clannaring hosted by Risk London and Lansdowne ROAR. That'd be something else, Mark, wouldn't it?
Spoke about it the other night. Yeah, that's something definitely on the radar if we can do it.
Yeah, no, it'd be fantastic if we do. That would be, and we'll be there. We'll be live. We'll be live from the Clannaring. That'd be amazing. Joseph Lennon, same Dave. I'll always want him to do well and be glad if I'm proved wrong, even if it's Lennon, but can see it turning quickly into performance. Can see it turning quickly if performances aren't there. Never mind results if they get in Newton or Lennon. I think most people here would be of the same milk. Although when Kenny got it, a lot of people straight away were like, no. And they were delighted when he failed. And they probably would. Some will be like that with Lennon as well. But anyway. Brian Hennessy, Roy as manager and Robbie as assistant manager. Christ, could you imagine that? Joseph Lennon, yeah, David, take Roy every day and twice on Sunday over Lennon. Darryl O'Connor, off topic, but the blue jersey you finally got, Martin. Is it match worn, the one you have?
It is, yeah, that's it. It is. It won't be. It's not a senior match one, but it is match worn by one of the underage sides. And yeah, very happy I got that from a good friend of mine. Sources. It's all about that. Yeah, done me a big favour getting that because, as you know, I was after that. And interesting, we're talking about JD being up in court. I nearly found myself up in court.
Yeah, from a JD, not JD.
No, Jesus Christ!
Lower in the alpha.
Let's not go there. Oh.
A bit lower in the alpha. No, I'll never forget that morning. I thought you were joking. If you want to know what that's about and you see me, I'll tell you in person. I won't mention on this.
As well.
I'll tell you in person.
I'll show you the screenshots and I'll show you. And to be fair, Mark Ty, who did Champagne Football, did cover that
He did
part of it in a little bit of a thing.
He did. If you ever want to know about that, sorry, we can't really mention it on this. And you do see me. at the matches. I will be over in March, or if you see me in London or wherever, or do ask me, and I'll tell you exactly what that was about. That was mental, in Dublin Airport.
There's some comments coming in, so we got to be.
Yeah, yeah. We won't
No,
put that.
yeah.
No, he didn't.
Joseph Lennon, your comment, no, definitely not.
No, we won't put it up on the screen. We don't want to attract any attention. Sorry. What's that noise? Is that your arsehole puckering, Martin? It's tight there, isn't it?
I'll tell you.
I know. Neil McDonough, the Liverpool and Arsenal comparison is only true without the ball. With the ball, there is no comparison. Okay, that's true. I mean, look, the Liverpool version of it is obviously it's a lot more sleek. It's tidier. It's a bit less hit and hope. Of course, you know, with Arnold was hit into the corner, chase him down, and then basically make a mistake and play the football around the box. But what I'm saying to you is that the DNA came from that. But yeah, no, obviously the version Liverpool play is phenomenal. Adam Kavanagh, evening from Vancouver. How you doing, Adam? Holding out hope for Carsley, more likely to help bring in Ireland players like O'Brien and recruit a few Granny Rule players to find a diamond in the rough. Yep, hopefully. There's some talent. I think in about 5 years' time, you're going to have a lot of players playing like a lot of Granny Rule players from abroad, like Garcia, McNulty, and all these guys. There's a big diaspora out there, and just few years, I reckon you'll definitely have a lot of that. Jacob Bryan, of course. Richard, and you know what I love about that? That's what I love about Lansdowne ROAR is that we have fans all over the world watching us, and it's brilliant. I love it. That's, you know, I was actually showing some of the clip when, you know, we were in Dublin for the last game, Kenny's last game, and I did the intro, and I said, like, wherever you're watching from around the globe, welcome to Lansdowne Road from wherever you're watching around the globe. And that was so cool for me because I thought people do watch us from all around the globe, Australia, America, Canada. It's brilliant. Our community. And Richard Joyce, Roy as manager and Steve Staunton as assistant manager. Do you know what? I would actually renew my Prime membership if they did an all or nothing on that. In fact, if Roy Keane got the manager's job, the Ireland manager's job, I would actually get Amazon Prime in to watch that. Right. That is the last comment of the night. Richard, thank you very much. Joseph there, he knows what's going on. So we won't put it up there. You know what's going on, Joseph. Wink. As I said, if you want to know about that, talk to me. I'll tell you in person. But not in here. But listen, anyway. Okay, one more. Kevin O. What about a Coleman double act? Chris as manager and Seamus as his number 2.
He's one that's not really been mentioned at all, has he, Chris Coleman? And yeah, good experience and stuff. And yeah, Seamus number 2. You know, again, it comes down to Keith Andrews wasn't really lauded as having great experience, and it kind of went against him then because, you know, when he was put up in front of press conferences and things like that. I think we need to get a very, very experienced team of coaches with whoever the manager is, or that the manager is just going to be so good in front of the media that they're going to be able to handle all that and let the coaches just crack on with it. You know, you don't need to have your coaches up discussing things, really, do you? Let them do their jobs.
Yeah. Would you take Mick McCarthy if he came back?
Would I take Mick? No. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'd get behind it, but yeah, no, it wouldn't be for me now. I think he's had his time with them, and
love Mick.
It's not evolving, is it? It's not evolving anything.
No.
But like, you know, it's all interesting debate tonight, and thanks everyone for their comments, because, you know, even
loads of comments, yeah, brilliant.
Robbie Duffer, they're players now who were brilliant for us, and now they're trying to forge careers as managers and things. So that next generation is there. We've talked about, you know, Andy Reid, Stephen Reid in the background, doing a lot of coaching at clubs. Also, like John O'Shea is going to be involved in Irish football in the future. We can't just put these guys aside. No. There's a lot of people coming through, big names as well, in you know, doing their badges. You know, Glenn Whelan's with the under-16s in Turkey this week. They turned around their fortunes. John Walters has done stuff underage. Sean St. Ledger. These guys have all gone through the grassroots. Yeah, they've all gone through like the FAI kind of the coaching badges on that. and they're doing it properly, and they're quite impressive when you see them. I saw Duffer did a brilliant presentation. I was lucky enough to sit on a kind of webinar watching that, and really interested, and shows you the work he put in. He's just not been gifted jobs. He put the work in, and I think
he's in for the love.
He's one for the future. He's one for the future of Ireland, without doubt. But I think it's just coming a bit too soon now. This one,
not a few years. He probably needs to do it in England. To be fair, maybe he could step. He could be that link between the League of Ireland and the senior men's job because of what he's done in England. He doesn't probably have to go to England. He would be big enough. His personality would be big enough. He's a very well regarded coach. He might be the one. He might be the one to make that link.
I know that we want to wrap it up, but like,
I wouldn't be totally. If Duff, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
If Duff was unveiled, for example, I'd be like, okay, but I'd be intrigued. I wouldn't be totally against it. I wouldn't be like but I'd go, okay, not really for me, but I'd be intrigued and support him, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I know we want to wrap up, but like, no, I'm just saying, if you think about like Irish managers or like Duffer's doing it in Ireland, kind of giving back all them coaches I mentioned earlier, but you look at like Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney, all got opportunities with big clubs just on the back of their name, basically. Not really the credentials. They were just given a chance because it's that commercial aspect of it, though, because they were such high profile names with England and had great careers as England internationals. Straight away, they went to the top of the queue for them jobs because they knew that they just had great careers and stuff. And I don't think we appreciate, perhaps, like Robbie, again, he could probably argue all down this. Robbie, really, if he wasn't such a kind of divisive character in a sense and had made some weird decisions that have alienated themselves with Irish fans, he would definitely be in the equation here. Without a doubt. He definitely would be.
And if he won his first trophy,
he would probably think he doesn't have to redeem himself with the public, but I think he kind of does.
He big time does. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much. We've gone way over time, but that's it. We are the voice of the fans. Your comments come in. We want to read them out. We want you to have your say on Irish football and what we say. We are the voice of the fans, and thank you so much. And we love our Lansdowne ROAR community out there. Martin, thank you. This week, I will probably see you on Tuesday for a state of play. We're going to try and do those in some form about 2 or 3 times a week in some form. So we're getting more current. We're going to be more reactive. So it's not just the one every week. We will be back next week, of course, with Lansdowne ROAR live, 9:30. If you don't already know, 9:30, unless there's something that's happened. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're not watching us on YouTube, why not? We have a QR code down the bottom right corner on YouTube. Head over to greenmachinepodcast.com. It is changing to Lansdowne ROAR, not just yet. If you want to get opinion, we have a whole team of writers. We've got Connor from Republic of Ireland Tracker. We have Bill from Irish Football Blog, who I know he's watching because he's taking notes because I'm his hero. We've also got James, and we have a whole host of new writers there as well. They're good guys, some great opinions there. Head over to greenmachinepodcast.com. Even if you're lucky, you might see one of my articles there too. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, the one we're trying to get off the ground, folks, YouTube. Please give us a subscribe on YouTube. It would mean the absolute world to us. And thank you for your comments. Thank you for your interaction. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have any of this. So thank you so much. We'll see you on Tuesday. And if not, we'll see you next week. Good night. God bless. And I suppose, safe home.